भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनेति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशितारिणे। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। नमो ब्राह्मण देवाय गो ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगद्गीताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। हरे कृष्णा धनुष प्रणाम टू ऑल डिवोटीज। ओवर टू यू प्रसाद प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्णा। संजीव प्रभु जी, फर्स्ट you have to do Mangla Charan, then you start please.
Sanjeev Rao, Hare Krishna. You want to do Mangalacharya and then I'll start. Is my voice is
Sorry, I was muted. Okay. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you are audible, Rao.
Okay.
Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Okay, excellent. Do Mangalacharya, Prabhu, and then I'll do a quick
Sanjay
recap.
Prabhuji can't hear you.
No, we can hear, Prabhu. We can hear.
Prasad Prabhu can hear. Maybe Sarat Prabhu.
Yes, na Prabhu ji, I am able to hear you.
I'm able to hear, Sanjeev Prabhu.
Maybe Sarat Prabhu change the headset or something.
Sharat Prabhu, you may need to change the headset.
Yeah.
Sanjay
I think
Prabhuji
Sharat.
cannot hear you.
Maybe network issue there at Sarat Prabhu ji's home.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Let me call.
Yeah.
Sarat Prabhu ji, am I audible?
Yes, Mataji, very
Mostly
clear.
नहीं, शरद प्रभु जी के वहां पे नेटवर्क इश्यू है।
ओके ओके नहीं, मेरा यहाँ मेजर इलेक्ट्रिकल प्रॉब्लम है.
हाँ, यस यस प्रभु जी।
That is being repaired.
Just 1 minute. I have a call I have to pick up.
Okay, okay.
Sorry. So I will share my screen. Okay. I will do the normal Guru Pranam. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschasya Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana चक्षुरुमिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदाङ्कितं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगुणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सगणललिता श्रीविशाखावितंश हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयति नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear all. I think it's Friday evening, so limited audience, but we'll have a lot of good discussion. So before I do, I think Prashad Prabhu, or who is doing the recap? Do we need a recap? 178?
Prabhuji is doing,
Okay, Prashad Prabhu. So over to you.
but hardly anybody devotees have not joined yet.
Yeah, Prabhu. Friday evening is a bit tricky day. Tricky. I'm sharing my screen, Prabhu. Hope you are able to see. Let's do a quick recap in 10-15 minutes. Okay,
प्रभु
whatever.
जी, आज राधा विनोद प्रभु जी, राजकुमारी माता जी सब लोग ज्वाइन नहीं होने पाले.
Oh, okay. Hmm. Okay. So let us do a quick recap. It's a short slide only. Okay, we'll do a quick recap. Sanjeev Prabhuji, because we have very few audience, you also can participate, please. You know this topic very well. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I'm
Yes,
just
yes.
saying that Sanjeev Prabhu, you also can participate in today's discussion. I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'll start with a very small question. Why is Vivartanavada is called as theory of illusion? Okay. Theories of illusion. Is my question is clear? Prabhu, am I clear? No,
Sanjay
Sanjeev Prabhu,
Prabhuji,
you are
your
in mute.
mic is off.
Yeah. Sanjeev Prabhu, you are in mute. So what I'm asking is why,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
why is Vivartavada is called theory of illusion? Very simple recap.
yes, Prabhu. So, because Vivartavada, it mentions that the material world is Maya or illusion. It is devoid of true existence. It thinks that the Brahman itself transforms and it's illusory. And when we get the knowledge, then we merge with the Brahman and become one with Brahman. However, that is not the correct theory as we understand. It is Parinamvad, which says that the
Exactly.
Lord and the Sar,
Yeah, perfect.
like Achintya Bheda.
Yeah, yes. Perfect. So let's move to the next slide.
We have the CDK installed and ready. We're ready to jump in and see what working with the CDK is like when we're actually using it and what we can expect.
Yeah, this slide is talking about Parinamavada. So how this Parinamavada view this material? Okay, it's very different. Okay, Vaishnavas the way we see this particular word. We don't call this as illusion. So how do we see this as material? Raksha Mataji. You're in wait, Mataji. So, okay, let's talk about a little bit about Parinamavada. Yeah. Okay, and how this is different is the one we are discussing. So, let me give a quick summary. Parinamavada is a theory of transformation, teaches the material world is a real manifestation of Krishna's energy, that is Shakti. Yeah. While the nature undergoes a transformation, Brahman remains eternal and unchanged. This is different from Vivartanavada. Vivartanavada thinks that this world doesn't exist, but actually it exists. This is the expansion or energy of Shakti. That is what Parinamavada thinks. How does Parinamavada view this material world? It's a question. So for that, I'm trying to say Parinamavada view the material world as a real, authentic manifestation of Brahma's creative power, Brahmans. Okay, so unlike Vivartanavada, which he considers the world is an illusion, but this Parinamavada teaches that the universe emerges through a process of transformation. That is very important. So, Prakriti, which is material nature, actually changes and evolves into the driver's transformation of the universe, while Brahman remains constant. So, Vivartanavada says, Parivartanavada says, this world is really exist, but this is temporary. Yeah, that is what Vivartanavada says. Let's move to the next slide. Okay. This slide is talking about traditional Parinamavada and modified Parinamavada. Very tricky slide. So, anybody wants to highlight the difference between, very thin difference between the traditional Parinamavada and modified Parinamavada? So, Sanjay Prabhu, you may try, bro. Very tricky slightly. It's very thin difference. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. So the traditional Parinamvad, it gives a context that it is due to the power of Brahman, all the transformation happen. But the modified Parinamvad highlights the factor of Prakriti very clearly. Like Brahman, the Supreme
Yes.
Personality Godhead, does not do it, but it is through the agency of Prakriti that the Lord does it.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Prabhu. Let's move to the next slide. So, here, this is what slide number 7. So here we are talking about illusion of duality, that is integrating Vaivartana and Parinamavada. Okay. Vaivartanavada and Parinamavada. Okay. So here we have two themes, that is illusion of duality and nature of self body. Okay. So how do the Vivartavada and Parinamavada explains the relation between the self and body? So how this particular is differentiation between the self and body in these two? Yeah. Akshamata, you want to give it a try? Akshamataji left. Okay, maybe some signal problem. That's all. Sharat Prabhuji also not there today. He's
Hmm.
there, but like chair is empty. He must have gone somewhere. Okay. So here, both the philosophies distinguishes the true self, Jiva and Atman, from the physical body, but the approach is distinct, differently, slightly. So let us understand what is that Vivartanavada is telling about this particular soul and body, self and body. Vivartanavada teaches that identifying oneself with the body is a result of ignorance. That is Maya. Okay. The body is not true self, and releasing this helps one attain the liberation by recognizing the eternal nature of the self. Now let us understand what is this Parinamavada explains. Parinamavada accepts the reality of material world and explains how the self interacts with the body and creation. Yeah, it's as you mentioned, Prabhu, it talks about more nature and all that Parinamavada. So in view of this world, a genuine manifestation of divine power helps us understand that self-role, the evolving universe. Therefore, these perspectives show that while the body is temporary and changing, yeah, the true self is enduring and connected to the ultimate reality that is Brahman. Yeah. So let's move to the next slide. That is what slide number 8. What is this slide is talking about? Let's understand that this what is this slide is talking. This is continue of the integration of Vaivartanavada and Parinamavada with transcendental knowledge, which is jnana and the illusion nature of material existence. Yeah. So let us see how do Vivartanavada and Parinamavada helps in gaining a transcendental knowledge. Okay. Both how they are helping us in gaining jnana. Okay. Sanjeev Prabhu, you want to add? I'll just summarize. I think it's fine for me. I'll summarize it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So both the philosophies actually contribute for spiritual understanding, but in a different way. So let us see how it is contributing from Vivartanavada. Okay, on this particular aspect on jnana. This teaches that the material world can be mislead us in identifying with the temporary and changing things. By recognizing the illusionary nature of these attachments, a person develops a detachment and focus on eternal reality. So this is more of a detachment. Yeah. Now let us see what is this Parinamavada. Parinamavada teaches that the world is a genuine manifestation of the divine power. So, Prabhuji, this we need to understand very clearly. This is a divine power. Okay, whatever you are saying. The water we are seeing, the air we are seeing, everything is a manifestation of divine power. If you know that, then only we will have the respect on this nature, not just detachment. Detachment, if you start detachment, doesn't help. Okay, long. So rather than rejecting the world, it's very important. Rather than rejecting the world, but Vaivartanavada, they reject the world. But here, rather than rejecting the world, okay, this Parinamavada encourages seeing the presence of Brahman within the creation and appreciating the sacredness of life. Means, so we have to see Vishweshwara in this Vishwa. Okay, there is something like in idiom. Okay, so we have to see the God, means Lord, in this universe. Yeah, he's there in every atom. What is the meaning of Vishnu? Vishnu is nothing but expansion. Yeah, yeah. Let's move to the next slide. Yeah, I think the recap point of view, this is the last slide for us. Okay. So what is this slide 9 is talking about? It is talking about two themes. Let's understand the discrimination between matter and spirit and connection between knowledge and liberation. So the question is going to be here, how does the knowledge lead to liberation according to Vaivartana and Parinamavada? So in terms of, okay, how does this knowledge lead to liberation in the context of Vaivartana and Parinamavada? I see Harsha Mataji joined. Harsha Mataji, you want to give it a try? Because we have very, very few. Raksha Mataji joined, but she dropped. Harsha Mataji, you want to give it a try or I can give
Yeah,
some
one
answer?
second. Okay.
No problem.
Prabhuji, can you repeat the question again?
No problem, Mataji. My question is, okay, these particular themes which are there in front of us are talking about discrimination between matter and spirit and connection between knowledge and liberation. Yeah. So related to liberation, what is Parivartanavada is telling? Parivartanavada is telling because it talks.
Because knowledge guides us from this material, fleeting material existence into towards liberation, and from the cycle of this material sufferings. It leads us to there, and we realize what is the truth, ultimate truth.
Okay. Okay, Mataji. So, okay. You have given a generalized answer, but let me give little more, Mataji. So, Vaivartanvada teaches that the liberation comes from realizing a attachment to the material world is based upon illusion. When a person understands this eternal nature of the self and Brahman, ignorance is removed and freedom is attained. Means this is more talking about this is just Maya and more of a detachment from this world. Vaivartanvada gets a moksha, means liberation. Okay, so that is a way. Now, Parinamavada is teaches that this world is real but temporary manifestation of the divine truth. By understanding the relation between Brahman and myself and the material world, one develops the spiritual wisdom and deeper connection happens with the Supreme Personality Body. To that, we get liberation going back to Godhead. So there is a clear difference how we see this particular world. How do you get the liberation for a Vaivartanavada and Parinamavada? Vaivartanavada is more things that is this is Maya, this is detachment, leave that, leave this, everything, leave. So that I get a too much of vairagya at that time, I will not take that. That is moksha. But Parinamavada is not like he know that, he or she know that this is very temporary, but this is also expansion of Supreme Personality Godhead. And he see Paramatma in everything. And then he will start loving Krishna, saying that, okay, see, he has given so much air today to me. He has given so much water for me to drink. So he will feel that he will have that, he or she will have that gratitude towards Krishna. And then he or she start establishing the connection with Krishna. And then that he will continue doing the service to the Krishna. From there, that particular person will get liberation. Yeah, so there is a clear cut difference. Does that make sense, Mataji? Does that make sense, Sanjay Prabhu? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So with this, we'll
Dandat
stop.
Pranam.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. So I'll stop sharing. Okay. Anyhow, we are at 8:20. Close to. Yeah.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, Prabhu.
Thank you,
And
Prabhu.
yeah, now we will go to the
Yeah.
last section of this chapter. So this chapter again is Gyan Yoga, Canto 11, chapter 29, right? Yeah. Sorry, chapter 28, right? So yeah, and we are doing his lesson 179. So here the Lord is giving the teachings of Jnana Yoga to whom? To Uddhavji. Okay, and Uddhavji is very, very exalted and direct devotee of the Lord, like very exalted and like very close associate of the Lord and devotee of the Lord. Before the Lord is winding up his pastime, he has given these instructions and goal to Uddhavji that I will explain you. And then you have to go and meet Narnarayan Rishi and the sages in Badrika Ashram and share with them. And also you have to give this knowledge to like Vidur will come and meet you and then you have to guide him. So through that actually, like as we have mentioned many times, like Bhagavad Gita, Krishna spoke to Arjuna in 45 minutes, like our Sarat Prabhu mentioned last time, but in 45 minutes, he gave a very high level, which is enough. But here for serious students to go deeper, Lord has given a lot more knowledge through the Uddhav Gita. And that's what we see. There is one full chapter and then our wonderful acharyas like Valdev Vidyabhushan and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, they have given so much of commentary, which is further explanation so that we do not have any doubt left. For example, we were discussing about Vivartavad and Parinamvad. That will come more in this section now again. This is the final section of the 3 sections of this chapter 28. So we covered 178 last time. Prabhuji helped us with a quick recap. Now we'll do the last few themes here. Should be a short one. I think I should be able to complete in 30 to 40 minutes. Then we will have a quick discussion and then let's see, we can wind up. So let's go, because there are a few slides remaining, but doing this all in one stretch because of the complexity of the philosophies might have not been easy. So again, we will look into the difference between Advaita and Bhakti philosophy. We'll look at the differences between the complementary natures of Advaita and Bhakti philosophy. Our acharyas have integrated this for us, like how can we pick up some positive point or attributes from Advaita philosophies as well. They are useful for those who cannot accept Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because as a jiva, all of us have a different unique path for us. And then we have a different mindset, mind frame. So the Lord is so kind that depending on the jiva's mindset, he gives him a particular opportunity or mode to learn and grow, right? But we are very, very fortunate here. We are in the line of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are in the Brahma Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, which is so exalted.
కార్డు పెట్టలేదు ఇక్కడ కార్డు
Yes, Prabhu.
కార్డు తీసుకెళ్ళిపోయావా
Yes. Prashad Prabhu. Want to say something?
హలో
I think he's on call. So we have to do our best to understand this and implement this. Yeah. So that will look into those scriptural references, right? So now the first slide here, the fundamental difference between impersonal Advaita and Bhakti Advaita, right? So Advaita philosophy mostly deals with is ultimately, it says the Brahman is non-dual. It says like it is impersonal. That's a main philosophy or theme over there. And then because we are in ignorance, we cannot perceive that. When we we have a better idea, then we might merge. So they pick up on the verse from Bhagavatam and then fine tune it to focus on what they have to say, but they miss the whole complete part. However, the complete part is given by Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavatam. The verse of Bhagavatam here is verse 1 to 11, right? Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatma iti bhagavan iti shabdate. Means the same personality of Godhead, full realization is that of Bhagavan. The partial realization is that of Paramatma, and then impartial or just very distant realization is that of Brahman, right? So it is to the understanding of the person, just like the analogy Lord Krishna gives. If we are here on the earth and the sun gets covered by the cloud, the sun is not disturbed. The sun is there, sunshine is there, but our vision is covered. Same way here, our vision is covered by illusion. That's why we cannot understand this concept. So here in the nature of reality from the Advaita philosophy, it says there is only one ultimate reality, Brahman. Reality is seen as unified whole. Material world is illusory or Maya, and the goal is to realize this oneness and transcend the illusion of duality, right? So the whole thematic heading over here, the core passage is exploration through the lens of Gyan Yoga, the Advaita and Bhakti Yoga, and see how they are complementary. So this is the path of Advaita. They consider this whole material world as a Maya. The example is given is when in dark, like when it's dark, if you see a rope, you may mistaken, or you see a snake, you can mistaken it to be a rope and it can hurt you. So that's the illusion factor here. But Lord Krishna clearly says it's not illusion, it is dukkhale mashasvatam. And what is illusion is our understanding of who we are. Actually, we are spirit soul, but we understand ourselves, and we are so much conditioned into this material body that we cannot really take a grasp or depth that we are the part and parcel of the role and spiritual. So the Bhakti philosophy, it says that it is actually the God, the person who is who has a personal who has a personal features. He has relation, he has relatives. We are all interconnected with him, and he is the Shaktiman, the possessor of the all the Shaktis. So the key point for us as practicing Vaishnavas is to understand the reality is actually including both personal and impersonal aspect of the divine, and the core feature is the personal. Impersonal is the shining brilliance of the bodily feature of the Lord. So the relation between the devotee and God is central here, and devotion is seen as a primary means of attaining spiritual upliftment here, right? Now, if we connect this to the chapter of Purushottam Yoga, there also Lord gives very clearly that he is the Purushottam. He is the source of both world and the jivas, both emanate from him. And bhakti is the best way to achieve him in a personal attribute, right? So, right, yeah. So that's the summary of this slide. Now let's go to the next slide here. The theme here is the view of divine from the perspective of Gyan Lok through the lens of Advaita and Bhakti. So that is the comparison. So how does the Advaita view the divine? The Advaita view the divine, they say that the Brahman is formless, beyond the attribute, Nirguna and Nirakar. Brahman can manifest in various forms, and the goal is to realize however, the goal is to realize the formless, unchanging reality, right? So that is what they say. The Brahman is formless, Nirgun, Nirakar. But from the Bhakti point of view, we know that Nirgun here it means lack of material qualities, not the lack of qualities, the lack of material form. It is a transcendental form. I think we all have heard this, right? So the divine is seen from the Advaita philosophy as the impersonal absolute, and the focus is on understanding the essence rather than the personal interaction. So at our level, the focus is more about, the Advaita philosophy focus is more on this impersonal absolute, but the Bhakti philosophy is more the personal interaction of the Lord. That is what we value, right? And that's where we go to Bhakti philosophy, where the Lord is considered fully personal, Sagun. He has attributes and qualities which we can relate to. And this view actually fosters a loving relationship with the divine. So this relationship is what the devotee sees the God as a loving personal being with whom he can interact, he or she can interact and have an emotional and spiritual bond. Right? So that is the way Bhakti or the philosophy of the Bhakti views this, right? The examples we can pick from Bhagavatam is how four Kumara, they were, how do we, if we are challenged, then how is Bhakti superior, or how do you say Bhakti is a complete realization? So we see that the four Kumaras who were actually in the impersonal mode initially, but when they enter the Vaikuntha planet, they get the association of devotees and they are able to feel the aroma of the tulsi leaf from the lotus feet of the Lord. Then they quickly become fully bhakti oriented persons, and they see the personality of the Lord. They are amazed with the beauty of the Lord, and they are thrilled, and that's where they become the full-time devotees. And later on they go around preaching as well, and they preach so many devotees. Even in chapter 15, as we say, the Lord says that how the soul returns to the supreme root, right? And he says that this completion is not like this completion is like attaining that uh, restatement of that relationship we have through the loving service, right? So thought for you all, like we are of course devotees in the line of Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada in every purport of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, he brings the focus on the bhakti or prema bhakti. So in your view, in your personal understanding, maybe we can discuss later, would like to hear how do you really personally take this thought? Like what does it mean to you, the personal form of the Lord and bhakti versus the impersonal form. From your own vantage point, from your own discussions and realizations so far, what has been the realization on the impersonal attribute of the Lord and the personal attribute of Lord? So would like to hear from each of you. We'll keep that for the discussion area. Then we go to the fourth theme, the role of emotion and intellect, right? So here from the Advaita philosophy, the intellectual understanding is that, here the intellectual understanding and philosophical reasoning are paramount. The pursuit of knowledge and clarity is prioritized in the quest of liberation. The emotions, though, may be acknowledged, but they are often seen as distraction from the goal, right? So there's a lot of emphasis on jnana, intellectual reasoning, logic. Like that's why it was mentioned that they are called muni. Every muni must have his own philosophy, and they spend a lot of time and energy into that. Uh, and the point is then we miss the real part. Whereas from the bhakti philosophy, what is the role of emotion and intellect? In bhakti philosophy, emotions play a very important and central role in devotion, right? In the practice of devotion. The emotions here are what? The emotions are love, faith, surrender to the Lord. That is the Sharanagati. So Sharanagati has so many, I think there are around 6 attributes to Sharanagati are explained by our Goswamis. Like there's a beautiful verse also that um, one is the full faith and conviction in the words of the Lord, um, abiding like implementing what is the positive attributes, rejecting what is implementing what is favorable to the Lord, rejecting what is not favorable to the Lord, associating to the devotees, serving the Lord. So these are all the aspects of surrender to the Lord, and they are very, very um, strictly or very, very with all enthusiasm, they are practiced by the devotees, right? So, and that what that brings is a huge amount of emotion, and through the emotion, the bhakti lata breach. This is the emotion towards the devotion of the Lord, right? Intellectual, the bhakti philosophy or a bhakta, he uses intelligence. How, like he uses his intelligence to increase his heartfelt devotion, to improve his emotional connection, and he uses the intelligence like what we are trying to do, reading the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and trying to see how I can implement that, how I can. The devotees, they keep coming with new ideas on how they can fulfill the mission of Srila Prabhupada. Like the great example I can share is His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu. He's so determined to do book distribution that he would go in areas like, for example, this is while back, even at the airports, he would go and distribute book, although there might be initial resistance. People would come around and say, oh, I don't have cash, but I have a credit card. At that time, it was not that easy, but he would have a credit card, machine in hand. So he will arrange everything. And this philosophy is wonderful. Like his arrangement is wonderful. Like all the devotees, when we go to Dham Yatra in his group, we will all have all the organized arrangement that whenever we meet a person, we will first give 4 gifts. We'll give some prasadam, we'll give a sticker of a Lord, we will give a book, and then we will ask them for donation. So he says, like, give 6 things, then ask the one thing. So that's a wonderful. So that is how the devotees, they use the intelligence of the Lord. That is how they use the intelligence in the bhakti to understand Shastra, to go deeper in the Shastra, and then they come up with creative, unique ideas on how that can be implemented. They would not worry about, okay, okay, internet is there. Okay, how can I use it in the preaching mission? That's how how Charu Prabhu has set up this for us wonderfully, and Sarat Prabhu. So we are using this advanced internet not for the sense gratification, but for understanding, and that will give the pleasure to the Lord. So that is the bhakti philosophy, and that is the role of emotion and intellect. Intellect is used all the time. The bhaktas are busy. How can they fulfill the mission of their spiritual master? How can they serve the Lord? and through that they experience emotional bliss, the high level of emotion bliss. Again, the emotions also, there are so many different aspects that are being mentioned, the deeper aspects of uh, emotions in bhakti, which we have covered in the previous classes, like I think Mana Shiksha and different. So there's and which was there. So many other courses Prabhuji has conducted. So there's a depth of all the different emotions. Like the topmost one is what Radharani experiences, the Divya Unmad. Right? That ordinary jiva cannot. But for us, the bliss and devotion that we get by giving uh, simply a gift of prasadam or a book to someone and trying to have him chant Hare Krishna, that's a huge, huge gift. Yeah, blessed. Then the next section is community and practices, right? So this, community and practices, of course, the mood and vision that is given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is of um, Sankirtan. Sankirtan means coming together in a community and glorifying the Lord, right? So that is what the bhakti side. But how's the Advaita side? The Advaita side is emphasis is on individual solitary practice, meditation, personal realization, and the community and path are not given that, right? It's all about like being in one place and trying to do. So for this time and age, the acharyas have recommended it is not practical at all that we do this. So hence, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given this formula of Sankirtan Yajna. And then the acharyas like Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and our Srila Prabhupada has given us this whole proper pack program which we can use and which we can try our best to implement and feel that. Right? So Advaita philosophy, they focus on meditation, jnana-based study, studying Upanishad and self-inquiry. While that is not bad, it is just that it is not practical in this age, and that path is more longer and tedious. In the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna clearly asks, like, which of your devotees are more intelligent? Like, what happened when? What is the gati of those who think of you as a impersonal Brahman versus those who think of you as a personal? And Lord Krishna, he clearly answers, right? So maybe we can hear those shloka from Raksha Mataji later, but his clear answer is those who are in this impersonal path, for them, the path is very difficult, very, very difficult. And especially in this Kali Yuga, it's super difficult. So the Bhakti philosophy is there. It is the highest form of practice. And it is so much glorified across Bhagavatam, all the Upanishad. We just have to take the advantage of that. So in terms of community and practice, Bhakti encourages community worship, collective practice. It fosters a sense of belonging among all the devotees. And intellect is to involve the communal singing, the Sankirtan, organize the festival and ritual. That brings a collective devotion and communal bonding as well. So that's a point here. Now, yeah, this particular thinking about this but for this aspect, like Narad Muni has also written this whole Narada Pancharatrika, right? So he has given this whole bliss and all this procedure for us to be followed. In addition to that, also, yeah, I'm just thinking of like Bhakti Vinod Thakur, how he spent his lifetime to build a temple. He would go door to door, beg people, right? So and ask them that, although he's such a rich person, but just so that they get engaged, they get opportunity to build the temple of Allah. That's how that is their mood. So this acharyas, they carry a very deep mood. They don't differentiate that someone is fallen, sinful, or what. They just plan and think how can everyone be engaged? How can they all grow in bhakti? And we can see this from the mood of all the sages in the Naimisharanya as well, right? So they did this huge tapasya for a long time. They were so much disturbed by the smoke and all. So it was austere, but despite of that, one at the end of yajna, they got a blissful, they got association of um, Suta Goswami, and they got to hear the whole Bhagavatam, and this is what we have got as a gift, right? So these liberated or these exalted devotees, they are always very concerned, and they want to give a lot of help to us to elevate in bhakti, and through that they want to please the Lord also. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he instructed Nityanand Prabhu and Haridas Thakur so much that go door to door, and they were so much concerned about everyone. We can see the pastime about of um, this Jagai Madhai also. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going and rushing to punish this Jagai Madhai, but then Nityanand Prabhu is so merciful. He stops him and says, "No, no, this is the person who actually stopped them." And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is immediate stops and blesses them. So that is the sense of bhakti. That is the power of being in a community. In the community, we have to be also careful. Like, yeah, there is exalted devotees, we may or may not get along, but if our internal uh, process is strong, if our sadhana is well, even the internal process in sadhana for me is a bit next level, far away from that, but at least theoretically, if we agree to that and we put that in our mind, make it understand that this is it, this is what I want to focus on, this is the perfect goal to have, then the Lord will help us, and gradually we will develop respect for every devotee in the community, no matter how they are, because we will then think how he is helping, how he is following the instructions of his whole of his spiritual master, and we'll try our best to follow the instructions of Nityanand Prabhu, who is like a doshadarshi. He does not see a fault in any of us. He sees a little bit good, and then he wants to elevate us. So by that blessing, by that blessing and by that thought, we will get that, that vision through which we can see that good in everyone and then engage everyone. And through that, we not commit aparadha, and then we can make our Lord happy. And we can also get the mercy of exalted Vaishnava devotees. Right? So both Advaita and Bhakti philosophy, they aim for spiritual liberation. They go through different lenses, right? They aim for, but it's a different. The Advaita, they think it's impersonal liberation, but Bhakti is direct service of the Lord. So the Bhakti is the personal, right? Each path offers unique insight and practices that cater to different spiritual temperament and aspiration. So each path is different. We have to understand which path, like we have to understand how bhakti is the superior and the perfect and the right path, right? Advaita philosophy is take you to some level, but it is very difficult, onerous, and there's not that much of a bliss as we can see, right? Whereas bhakti path is full of bliss. Okay, now different spiritual temperament, diversity in the practice. And so what is the temperament? Temperament, like what are the different um, moods and focuses? So Advaita, it appeals to those, like who does it appeal to? So it appeals to those who are more analytical, they seek intellectual clarity, all right? So those kind of people. However, even if them, when they get mercy of the Lord, for example, one example we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, right? He's so intelligent person and so analytical and so perfect and rigid follower of the Vedas. But when he gets this mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what happens? He becomes a strong bhakta, and bhakti resonate with those who are emotionally inclined, and he becomes so emotionally surcharged that one time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes to him carrying Jagannath Prasad, and he just wakes up. But if he would have been a Vedic scholar, he would first take a bath and all. But here he says, no, Jagannath Prasad can be taken anytime. Right? Such is the transformation. So this is, and then we see that. So that is the power of bhakti. Right. So how is this approach complementary across both? So individuals can draw good from both the path and deepen the understanding. For example, one way I can think is the path of analytical study and going deep in meditation. We can learn those techniques if that works for us, like through the breathing, being in the presence and all. But we should focus that on how we can improve the quality of our chanting, right? We can apply the concept of yukta vairagya, pull out the right things, the good things, and use that to improve our quality of chanting, right? The next theme second here, the like how do we understand the complementary, or how these differences can help us, the understanding of divine or the perception of divine. So Advaita, they view the God as formless, impersonal. Brahman, they promote the idea that true realizations come from understanding the fundamental oneness. Whereas the bhakti, we know that the God, we have personal, God is personal, he has attributes, and we have a loving relationship with the Lord. So, what is the complementary part here? The understanding of Brahman in Advaita can enhance the devotional practice in bhakti if rightly applied. How? By recognizing that personal deity worship is ultimately an expression of the impersonal attribute as well. Um, I was so confused about this. What does this mean? But I could later then understand that what that mean, that the doing the deity worship, it covers the impersonal attribute as well. That is also included. So in the end, if you follow the angas of the bhakti, the the Brahman and the impersonal or Advaita concept is packaged into it. However, if we are not at that level, uh, which I don't think any one of us are, then the practitioner of Advaita, we need not deviate or be be hard on it, but slowly, gradually following the principles that Srila Prabhupada gave us by giving them prasadam, by giving them good association, then they can also grow. But don't get associated by them. Let our bhakti not go away. Right? Again, the uh, example of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya comes that how he approaches the Lord. He is very much concerned about the Lord, that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so young. Oh, let me teach him this, the whole philosophy, and give him the sannyas diksha again. The Lord is sitting quietly and listening to him for 15 days. So the Lord is very patient. Like we see he's so strict about this. He has clearly said that Mayavad bhasha sunle hoy bhakti nash. So he is very clear, but he's so patient for Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya because he has that feeling or emotion of love towards him. He thinks of him as his own, young. So then to appreciate and respect that feeling, then Lord is very, very merciful to him. So then the role of knowledge versus devotion. Right. So now in Advaita, priority is given to knowledge, the Vedanta Jnana, the techniques, the rules and all that is given the priority. And discrimination here means, and the key thing is liberation, and there is a focus on understanding the illusory nature of the material world. Means they think the material world is illusion, but we have to understand. So they have that different concept. Whereas the bhakti, it emphasizes love, surrender, emotional engagement, and the key thing here is God is a person, right? God is God is a personality, is a person. So that is and how we relate to him, we relate to him through service. So that is the point. So what is the complementary? The knowledge gained from Advaita can be used to elevate the practice of bhakti. Like if someone is applying those vidhi vidhan for the personal and through the Advaita, or if someone is already trained into that, right, through that understanding, then coming to bhakti, they can apply all of that for the pleasure of the Lord, right, with that concept. As I said, like one may learn those techniques of meditation, but use all of that to improve the quality of chanting, because we know that among the all the Vaishnava, all the what's that the offenses, the 10 offenses which we read daily, the 10th offense is in attentive chanting, which is said as the mother of all other offenses. So if through any of these other techniques mentioned, if we can have the chanting more attentive, then that benefits. So we can use that, right? Okay. Then the next theme here is community and practice challenges in the practice. So what is the concept of community in Advaita philosophy? The practitioner, they are more into like, as we say, they are more into analytical, and also they struggle with this emotional bonding. And they think of that these are the distractions in the material world during meditation and inquiry. Whereas the bhaktis, they see these challenges as well, but they face such doubt and emotional turmoil, but they think everything is a mercy of the Lord, right? So devotees may also face challenges such as doubt, emotional turmoil, or unstable mind during devotional practices. So that can be there. But then we take the shelter of the Lord, right? So what is the complementary thing here? The clarity and discrimination is taught in Advaita. It can help the bhakti practitioner overcome the doubt and emotional disturbances. Conversely, the emotional support and community found in bhakti can help the Advaita practitioner engage more fully with their spiritual journey, fostering a sense of belonging. And so this is a good insight. Please don't apply that. Like for us, we have to chase a community of bhakti, and we have to help everyone, including the Advaita, to grow here. Right? Then the holistic spiritual experience, which is integration of the path. As we said, how do we apply the concepts as we learn to improve our quality of bhakti, right? So Advaita philosophy, they offer a philosophical foundation that helps individual to understand the nature of suffering, nature of joy, and ultimate purpose of life. Whereas the bhakti philosophy provides a means to express and experience the divine through rituals and community. So together there is a holistic approach to this. We can understand the concept of material nature and all through the Advaita philosophy, but that is a very limited understanding. Our Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam gives us a very, very deeper aspect. So practically we don't need anything else here. But however, here we are just analyzing the differences. So conclusion here is Advaita and Bhakti philosophy, they are distinct, but they enrich each other. In my view, the Bhakti philosophy, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita are full, and we don't need anything else. They are fully compact. Yet this is just a distinction which can help us. So, right, analytical distinction. So, yeah, there is a short break here. I think I will complete the session and then we will discuss, right? So now here are the examples of some of the the saints or practitioners of Advaita Bhakti and Advaita and Bhakti aspect as well. Ramakrishna Paramahansa and Swami Vivekanand, they have been mentioned about the pioneers in the Advaita tradition. I think we all know Prabhupada gave us a very clear view of um, how we consider the Bhakti philosophy and how we have to put our faith in all the different Vaishnava acharyas. The same is the concept of Aurobindo and Ramakrishna mission that has been explained over here. I mean, personally, they are there. I have read a lot about them, but I think what I feel personally is Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, they are like the most sweetest and complete, and all the Vaishnava literature. And now that we are doing this Govinda Bhashya, I don't think we need anything else here. Yes, Nimbarka Acharya. So, and this Dvaita. So we just read about them. These are the great, Vaishnava devotees who have come time to time, who are private associate of the Lord, but they have come to elevate us. So Nimbarka Acharya, let's glorify him. 14th century philosopher. He gave us this Dvaita, interesting, the philosophical different concept. His Sampradaya, all Mahaprabhu, he picked up two points from each. Right? He mentioned his teachings emphasize that individual souls are distinct from God. They can never be one, they are distinct. This is what the actual honors the personal relationship constituent for us as a spiritual soul and the Lord. Right? To Sri Sri Radhakrishna, he emphasized and established it. So Nimbarkar's tradition coupled Sri Sri Radhakrishna with the philosophical understanding of it. So have successfully integrated the experience, and by recognizing we can and we can be like Paramahansa, we can pick up the milk from the water, separate the milk from the water. Okay, Brahman, yeah, Brahman, right? So that's how we can see. Yes, these are the scriptural references provided for the film, which I would go through for the Nimbarka Acharya, the Dvaita. So the Nimbarka commentary is their extensive commentary in Bhagavad Gita, in his commentaries, and this reflects the chapter of Purushottam Yoga that are my eternal fragment of it illustrates the connection and between the soul and the Nimbarka teaching. Through these scriptural references, we provide foundation for understanding the peace and integrated of Advaita and Bhakti. Each endures upon for the pursuit of knowledge. And so, summarizing whole chapter, I think, where the Lord says that we should see everything as the energy of the Lord. The Lord then gave Uddhavji the very detailed how the material world is, instructions, and like how we can cut down from this. He has also his devotees. Devotees are his own shelter of the devotees by serving them. Be very, very cautious that we don't criticize, harm, or cause offense to devotees. Nicely mentioned that through real goodness about someone, he says deep inside we might, or when we focus on what the Lord has and a community of devotees to do our best to follow. There's a lot of instructions and in Bible. I complete 28 and thank you all. Hare Krishna.
I think Sharad Prabhu has covered. No, it's a good discussion, Prabhu. Yeah.
Yes.
He was sorry.
Yes. What do you feel about the Lord?
So it's very difficult, Prabhu, impersonal. Before coming to ISKCON,
Okay.
that is art of living. You
Oh,
forget
I
about everything,
visited
Prabhu.
them. I also
Itself is a very big task, Prabhu.
again like
is very difficult, Prabhu.
yeah, do that Sudarshan Kriya. If you apply the painting, yeah, through
Yes,
that
yes.
calm
Yes,
your.
Thank you, Prabhu.
just now joined.
So, sir,
Nothing. It is very much some people try to should be discarded. It has got its advantages, and it is for some people, those who have got aptitude for that, for intellect. So that is what is very nicely given here.
yes, sir. Yes. Ultimately, as they say, yena kena prakarena, right? Somehow or other, we have to apply the concept of bhakti, and wherever we get, yeah, we can. Yes. Okay. Okay. I think we are on time. Should we conclude? Should I sing
Yeah,
the?
yes.
Okay. Harshama, you want to sing Harshama prayer?
Yes,
Yes,
yes, Prabhuji, I can see. Yeah, 1 second. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlad Lat Daine. Prahlad Lat Daine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. शिलटङ्कानखालाये शिलटङ्कानखालाये इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह नरसिंहदिं शरणं बाहे नरसिंहारतये नरसिंह बाहे नरसिंहारतये नरसिंह नरसिंहदिं शरणं प्रपदे नरसिंहदिं शरणं प्रपदे तव करकमलहरी नखम् अतुतशृङ्गम् दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गम् केशवदृष्टा नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरि जय जगदीश हरि जय जगदीश हरि तव कर कमलवरी नखम् अद्भुतशृङ्गम् दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गम् केशवदृष्टा नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरि जय हो जगदीश हरि जय जगदीश हरि जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव नरसिंह भगवान देव की जय जय भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की जय गौर निताई की जय चंद्र